The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code MLB SGPN. Get a $1,000 bonus credit. We're also about to Edge Boost. Get $50 per month each records by using the link edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is currently Monday morning, March 31st, roughly 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm host of episode Scott Reichel, joined again with Adam Rosenberg, and together we're going to do our second prop episode of the season. I know we did one for opening day. I think I went 1 and 2, but I did hit the best bet at the end. But point is, looking forward to breaking down our favorite props for the upcoming Monday card. I think there are 14 games, so once again, we are going to be doing 3 props each. Should be fun. Adam, how's it going with you? How'd you enjoy your first weekend of the MLB season?
First of all, it's our third prop show because we did one where we did awards, but
that's a separate show.
Okay,
we did an award series, so
that's fine. Good. It was good. I was still feeling some stuff out, so like it'll look. So I was trying to see what works and what doesn't work. Totals were working really well. Pitcher stuff was working really well. Fades of hitters was working really well. So I'll probably over this next couple weeks, really lean into not batters. Even though, as I said this before we jumped on, I was like, oh man, I really got to find a guy to hit a home run. But no, I'm excited to get in, and so let's get it rolling. We got a lot of day baseball for people.
Definitely should be fun. I know a decent amount of games start in about 4 hours, give or take, maybe 4 or 5. But
you, as someone who naps during the day, though, that's like basically, so that's your nighttime.
Yeah, you place all the bets. You wake up, you either won or you lost. I mean, now we're in that portion of the tennis gambling podcast where you have a lot of stuff in like Romania and a bunch of other European countries. So I hit my dog on the show, and it ended like maybe an hour and a half ago. And just wake up and you either win or lose. That's the mystery of the whole thing. I see Always Fresh, though, asking the important question, over, under, torpedo bets used. I'll go with the over.
Over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, so people know, it's not just the Yankees. Like, nothing about these bats is illegal. It's physics.
It just looks really weird, but
it just looks really weird.
It's
and also, if you're a pitcher and you miss bats, which is your number one job, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's illegal. It's not. It's like the tush push. Like, you could argue that, there's something that might be a little bit competitive edge to it, but right now it's legal. So
you're right, but Camanero's using one. Yeah. Like, a bunch of folks are using. Like, it's not. It's basically all it is you look like a weirdo. And it's weight distribution of mass across the bat versus in one area where most people will pick up a bat and be like, I want it this size or I want it this size. John Olerud had one that was like the size of a pen because he batted like this. Ichiro, same way. And then Albert Bell cheated. So never mind. So maybe
he legitimately cheated.
He legitimately cheated. This is also like not a corked bat. It's just a weirdly shaped bat. So
yeah, it's definitely, I'd say, interesting. I found it pretty funny when the Yankees announcers were like explaining it during the broadcast, and they're like, yeah, the Yankees noticed that they were making a ton of contact on the actual like label of the bat instead of the actual barrel. So they're like, why don't we just add more wood to the actual label of the bat? And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense to me. It sounds like it makes logical sense, and they hit 9 home runs in a game. So I guess, they're onto something there.
I mean, but I have a bat right here that we could look at, and it's just, I guess that's the part where they would be hitting it, right?
That's the point, is that they kept, like, the Yankees were just really bad at making direct contact with the barrel. So they're like, what if we just extended that area outwards? And everyone's like, yeah, you might be onto something. They're like, that there might make some, some difference there. And it has. So we'll see what happens. But
I wonder if they'll count that on StatCast still as a barrel.
It's a great question.
Because if everybody starts to use it, it becomes a completely different. I mean, it's a barrel.
Do you have a separate category for torpedo bats?
No.
But
like, they're all fine. I mean, also Aaron Judge is really good at baseball, so I don't know why people are.
I was going to say, yeah, it's another factor is that Judge had 4 home runs and he didn't even use the torpedo bat. So,
right.
It's fine. I think Lindor used it, and he went like 0 for 11 in the series against Houston. So just
Lindor's
because you use it.
Spoilers, Lindor is on my card today.
Yes, but the point is, just because you use it doesn't mean that you're actually going to suddenly hit bombs every time.
You have to have,
so just keep that in mind. But anyway, definitely a fun, I'd say, story for the sake of it. As the Yankees fan who thought they'd be underwhelming this year, I'm happy they're accusing us of cheating 3 games in. It's probably a good sign, a good omen for the team moving forward. We'll see what happens. But the point is, definitely should be a fun rest of the season. Do want to point out that before we get into our 3 player props each, want to remember once again that we are brought to you by the actual promo of the week, which is the SGPN Discord. Because why would you pay for some touts Discord? You can get access to the SGPN Discord completely free. Hang out with the SGPN community, breaking down all the DGen action, head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord once again for free Discord access. Anyway, getting into the 3-player props that we each have. We're going to go back and forth. Adam, I'll let you go first. What is your favorite player prop, or I should say one of your favorite player props for the upcoming Monday card?
Okay, I'm going to start off with, so everyone knows here that I'm a big Christopher Sanchez fan. And I am going to go with, I will have any excuse to talk about Christopher Sanchez, and I'm going to go with Christopher Sanchez under 1.5 earned runs at even money. It's around even money. It's around, there are certain places. He's a stud. Both games against the Rockies last year, he held them under a run. One was at CBP, one was at Coors. Rockies haven't scored more than a run against a lefty on the road in their first 5 since August of last year. This is effectively, and that is -125. So they're -125 to score more than 1.5 for the under 1.5 runs in the first 5. We assume Sanchez maybe goes 6. So you're getting an extra inning at even money. It's something that he's already done. And they've been under against lefties in games and team totals in 3 of their last 4. It's just a better bet than fading the Rockies the first 5 against a pitcher I'm very high on. The weather is supposed to get worse later in the game. The other thing is about Sanchez is that he does give up a lot of hits. He doesn't give up a lot of runs. He doesn't strike out a lot of guys, though he did add a cutter. So anyway, all that is to say, there's a lot of ways I think that this gets there. All for naught if someone hits a 2-run bomb, but give me Christopher Sanchez under 1.5 earned runs at even money for my first
also
prop.
A key piece of the breakdown they did not mention is that we like to fade bad teams and players, and the
We
Rockies
like to fade bad teams and players.
So the Rockies
They are
outside
bad.
of Coors, we know where a lost call is every time. So
also, if Trey Turner doesn't play today, which is possible because he's been hurt, that's better defense on the field.
Yeah, that's fair too. So definitely think that even money is a great price for that as well. So for my first one, I'm going to go with the pitching prop as well. I am going to go to the Tigers and Mariners game, and I am going to go with Emerson Hancock, the Mariners pitcher. I'll go with the under 4.5 strikeouts at -135. He's recorded less than 5 strikeouts in 9 of his last 10 starts. Really not known for being a good strikeout pitcher, and you're looking at him not really throwing much in terms of pitch count for the spring training outings. He never threw more than 66 in a spring training start, so we'll probably go, if I had to guess, 5 innings tops in this one. But you have a non-strikeout pitcher who is, I'd say, a little bit mispriced just based on the strikeouts because the Tigers struck out a ton against the Dodgers in their first series. On one hand, that's the Dodgers. That's pretty important to mention. 2 is that a lot of the strikeouts came against the bullpen. Snell, for example, only had 2 strikeouts in 5 innings, and Sasaki didn't do anything in that actual start. Yamamoto at 10. Yamamoto's also good at baseball.
We have Yamamoto 200-1 to be K leader, so
the point is Yamamoto, we know, does have like great overall stuff, and he ended up shoving for 1 game, but Snell, we know, is a great strikeout guy too, and he only had 2 strikeouts in 5 innings.
He's also a slow starter, but
yeah, but you know what I'm trying to say. The point is that the Tigers right now are up there in strikeouts per game, but facing off against that Dodgers pitching staff is going to skew some things, and I do think that Hancock, who is the basically 4 or 5 starter in the rotation for Seattle, probably goes 5 tops for an outing.
Yeah, he also, like, I'm looking at his stuff from last year. He faced, he only had 60 innings last year. His chase and his swinging strike rates are really low. So, which are 2 things that you look for in any sort of K prop. Like, neither of those things are good. And, I'm sure, I know he got better. He's not a K pitcher.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, once again, he needs to average basically a strikeout per inning, and I question if he'll be able to do that. So,
yeah, exactly.
I think he'll end up with 3 or 4, but if you go under 9 of your last 10, you're probably going to be taken out at 5 innings. I know behind the scenes we took DeGrom under his strikeouts yesterday against the Red Sox. That was 6.5, awesome. but same premise. We figured the pitch count would be somewhere in the low 70s, and at that point, you're asking for a decent amount of strikeouts basically per inning, and he just couldn't do it. So it's kind of the same argument there for Hancock, so I'll go with the under 4.5 strikeouts there. Now, before we get into our second favorite player props, or second player props for the actual Monday card, I want to remember once again that we are brought to you by our sponsor, EdgeBoost, because they are the Premier's debit card for bettors. They allow the ability to avoid being hassled by having your card denied at the sportsbook or DFS site, etc. So once again, your card will not be denied when you use it. You also get cash rewards, $70 per month in cash rewards by using the EdgeBoost card. Your money's all safe. As the card's definitely insured, and best part of credit checks is fully free. Sign up today, though, at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. SGPN. We're also brought to you by MyBookie. MyBookie is the place bet in every sport. They have props in every game.
Who's bookie? My bookie.
Yeah, correct. MyBookie. That is
true.
Nice pun there. MyBookie accepts customers ton of locations. You can deposit and get only fast pads with crypto. You can also head to MyBookie.ag with the promo code SGPN. 400% deposit match up to $1,000. That's MyBookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished giving out our first prop for the Monday card. Time to move on to our second prop. Adam, I'll let you go second, or go first, however you want to phrase it. What's your second prop for the Monday card?
Adam, it's your turn, is what you meant
Adam,
to
it's your
say.
turn. That's one way to put it, too. Yeah.
All right, cool. So, look, you mentioned Francisco Lindor didn't have a lot of success so far this weekend, but he's going against a pitcher today that you and I used to fade last year all the time for a very, very specific prop.
He was on the Rockies last year. I faded him all the time last year.
Well, yeah, but there was a specific prop that we faded for. He is very, very bad at holding runners. Marlins, by the way, got run on. You could make a train comment, anything you want to do. They got run on by the Pirates. 15 stolen bases they gave up during that series, which is insane. And that is not the Pirates doing it. That means that you have not a great situation going on with base paths. So, look, again, Cal Quantrill gave up 17 stolen bases last year, but then he also got waived and he didn't really pitch a lot of the year. He's not really good at this. Rather than bet on Lindor to have a better game against a mediocre pitcher, I think he's going to try to steal a bag when he gets on because we have a really good matchup here. He's plus 290, plus 300 to get one stolen base. So I'm going to take that. So Francisco Lindor stolen base plus we'll call it 295. That's what it was when I got it. Look, he's got he's 1-3 against Quantrill in his career, and he had a WOBA of 441 against sinkers last year, which is represents 45% of Cal Quantrill's pitches. So let's not worry about Lindor getting on base. Let's just worry about him taking some bags. He's also went to high school in Central Florida, so maybe he cares about being in Miami. I don't know, but we'll take this one.
Yeah, I'll also point out that Quantrill does occasionally have a walk issue. Maybe not as much as other pitchers, but I mean, there was a chance Lindor could walk. So there was always a couple ways to get on base besides just getting a hit. Even a fielder's choice. Just get on first base and see what happens. So I like the price at around 290 or around 3-1. So moving on to my second play, I am going to go with another pitching prop. This one I actually did not tell you about because I was kind of finding it at the last minute. I'm going to go with Cade Povich. I'm going to go with his over 4.5 strikeouts.
I like that a lot. That we talked last night about that. I like that a lot.
We did. But I feel like I kind of found the strikeout angle after you went to bed. So around 3 a.m, I found this play. Povich has recorded
#don't have kids.
Pretty much. Povich, though, has recorded at least 5 strikeouts in 4 of his last 5 starts, but he was also very good in spring training, even with, I'd say, inconsistent length. He struck out 6 guys in 2 of his last 3 spring training starts, and you're looking at his numbers against Boston last year. Faced off against them twice, had at least 5 strikeouts in both starts against the Red Sox last season. Boston has been pretty underwhelming when it comes to play discipline so far this season, mainly because of one guy, because Devers has been striking out like crazy. But you're looking at Povich, who has been pretty underrated when it comes to actually racking up strikeouts, and I do think 4.5, the same number as Hancock I mentioned before. I like the over here. I think he definitely can get to a strikeout per inning. He was very good in spring training at actually striking out guys. But 4.5, when he's done it twice against this team with pretty, I'd say, average distance against them in the past, I think this line's too low. So I'll go with the over 4.5 strikeouts for Povich at -135 as my second play. Thoughts?
Love it. I know that last year you and I used to fight a lot about you gave up on Povich early. I stuck with him. He did a lot better.
I know he was better in the second half. Yeah,
he was a lot better in the second half. You and I, and full disclosure, you and I are personally on the Red Sox team total under. So again, this is a play that I like. Yeah, I got no ads. I like Povich. I like Povich today.
Cool. And then what is your last prop you're going to share?
I
know you have a collection, so
I have a couple. Yeah, people are going to get a bonus one later, but here's all right. Joey Estes. I don't know. Is it Joey or is it just Joe? I don't know. I don't know why
I call him Estes, so that's fine.
Oh wait, is it really?
I think it's Estes.
I think it's Estes. I think it's Estes.
Is he a cousin to the Espies? I'm pretty sure
or Testes Estes. I don't know.
I think it's
under
Estes,
1.5
right.
Under 1.5 walks at minus 1,430, I think is what it is now. I'll take it to 120. I love this play. He had 1.9 walks per 9 last year in 24 starts, 5% walk rate, which was good enough for the 92nd percentile. He doesn't walk guys. Cubs have the second most walks in the league, but 5 were against Sasaki, who, I love that Lee. Lee dropping in with Joey STDs. Sasaki, who is a man-child that we're supposed to feel sorry for, gave up 5. Merrill Kelly had 4 and Zach Gallen had 4. So 65% of the walks that the Cubs have drawn this season have been against 3 different pitchers. I don't expect that with Estes, who's very, very disciplined and has really, really good control and is elite. So under 1.5 walks. I think this is actually, we also, like the A's in this game, opener for them in Sacramento. All those tickets have been sold out. Now they're being oversold on the off market. Can you say black market? Is that, I don't know if you're allowed to say that anymore.
Why not?
Yeah, okay, cool. Anyway, Joey Estes under 1.5 walks.
You can say Silk Road if you want to. I don't care what the hell you
Silk Road. That's my era.
But I'm just saying, you say whatever you want. I do want to point out, though, for the Estes actual walks.
I'm pretty sure it's Estes, but yeah, that's fine.
I think it's Estes. But anyway, point is, though, if you want to actually look at his starts to end last year, he actually did walk less than 2 guys pretty often. So to get into the actual numbers there, that's 5-1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He walked less than 2 guys in 10 of his last 11 starts. So he does have very good command. And I do agree with you that the Cubs numbers might be a bit inflated because a couple of pitchers could not find the zone against them. So, yeah, definitely like that play too. I took that with you overnight. For my last prop that I'm going to give out, actually, I'm going to go to a hitter's prop. I'm going to go with Steven Kwan. I'm going to go with his over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at -115. He's been so damn good to start the season.
He's awesome, man. He's also one of our dudes. We have a list that you and I keep. I think I'm going to add it that you
he's
never
so
update.
damn good.
He's one of our dudes.
In that series against the Royals, he's batting a casual 500. He had a home run also in the last game, but he's had at least 4 hits, runs, and RBIs in all 3 games this season. Once again, at least 4 in every game, and he's at 1.5 in this game with Joey Hart on the mound, who hasn't pitched in the majors since 2020. Like the Padres are just throwing somebody out there, and you're looking at Kwan is going to bat leadoff.
They're punting the game. Padres are punting.
But the point is, Kwan's batting leadoff, so he does a decent amount of at-bats in the game. He'll probably get on base at least once. He can get there a couple ways. He can get there through a hit, through maybe a hit and an RBI, maybe a run. A couple ways to get there, but you're looking at Kwan, who is against a relative unknown pitcher in Hart, who is also not that good in spring training either. It wasn't like Hart stole the job deservingly so. His spring training stats, 7 2/3 innings, 8 earned runs. Like, he wasn't good, and he hasn't pitched in the majors in about 5 years. So I think the Guardians could actually perform well offensively in this game. And Kwan will point out, since Hart is, I believe, a lefty, Kwan was even better batting average-wise against lefties last year. He had a .319 batting average against lefties last season compared to a .280 batting average against righties. So I think it's a good matchup for Kwan. I think it is a good opportunity. I see Lee asking if Hart is opening. Yeah, I don't know how long he's going to go. I'm assuming he'll probably open for a bit. But the point is, the Padres are kind of scrambling to actually just get something going for this game. But you're giving me Kwan, who looked like one of the best hitters in the first series for anybody in the season. And I can get his hits, runs, and RBIs as the leadoff guy at -115. I mean, we know Kwan's an absolute monster. So give me that at -115.
I just put Steven. We have a list of guys that are like our teams. The Campbell Camels and the Eastern Kentucky Colonels are listed here.
Yes.
Bad teams. We only have the Charlotte Hornets. Bad players, Jordan Poole and Lonzo Ball. And then you get to good players. There's 2 separate sections. There's our dudes and there's good players. Good players is Bilal Coulibaly.
Love Coulibaly.
Jackson Smith, N-word, Jordan Addison and Goga. And then our dudes, the only 2 people that are our dudes, which means they result in a big win or they're just awesome, is Grayson Allen and Steven Kwan, because we had that awesome cash of Grayson Allen over PRA with at the last second.
Yeah, that crazy game against Utah at the end. For the record, the good and bad players doesn't even involve how good they actually are at the sport. It's how often do they win or lose bets for us. And I think we were 0-6 with Alonzo. So we're just throwing him in the band camp. We can't do it anymore. So we gave up on him. But the point is, Kwan, I mean, you can go through the numbers if you want to from the opening weekend series against the Royals. He just mashed the ball. He was fantastic. So
yeah, no, he's good. He's one of the best hitters in the league.
But
I think the fact that he was 12-1 to lead the league in hits is
Yeah, minus 115 though, and if he got 2 hits in this game, nobody be surprised as the leadoff guy. I think it's a great price. That's my last option for the player prop. Anyway, time for us to choose our favorite props each for the actual card. Adam, I'll let you go first. What is your favorite player prop, your best bet for the Monday card?
Sorry, I tell you a bad bet. Frank Reich just became the coach of Stanford.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that one. Good time for me to
be fair to segue, I was really never a Shaw guy, and he got a bunch of praise because he had Andrew Luck. So I was never really a fan of their head coaching thing for the last decade and change. But it can't be worse than who was it? Taylor? Who was the last coach?
Yeah, they're terrible.
Who I thought was awful.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay. So my favorite play on here is the Estes under 1.5 walks.
Okay.
So that's
why is that your favorite one?
Just because he's just elite at this is something that he's just elite at. And again, I think that the Cubs he doesn't walk guys, and the Cubs walk rate is just inflated by a few pitchers that do have control issues. This is not a guy with control issues.
Yeah.
He also has a good catcher. He also has a good catcher behind the plate who's going to frame it all really well. Look, he might get lit up, and that's fine. He's just, I don't think he's going to walk anybody in the process.
Yeah, I can definitely understand where you're coming from there. I'm trying to remember, did I actually do the second ad read or no? I don't think I did.
No, you didn't do the second ad read. Oh, cool. Yeah. You did the edge boost one.
Yeah, it was the underdog one I didn't do. So I'll do that now.
But then we can do a play for the underdog. We can build our underdog entry.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll give up my best bet after that too. So we're brought to you by Underdog because they have a great underdog pick'em. We can enter any sport, multiple sports. You can mix and match, win up to 100 times your money. Sign up with your new account and use the promo code MLB SGPN to claim a special. You can first time deposit offer up to 1K bonus cash. Fantasy promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm because Rhythm is the home for AI picks and props. They also host good parties in Vegas. The point is, though, Rhythm is off to a great start in March Madness. They're helping you dominate your bracket pool. It can also build custom models that are easy and profitable to do so. They have models for the NBA, for golf, and soon MLB. Also, you can try it out for free for a week by using the link, sportsgamblingpockets.com's Rhythm, for a free 7-day trial. That is sportsgamblingpockets.com, so RITHMM. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Adam just finished giving out his best bet. Time for my best bet on the show. I like a lot of these plays, but you know what? I am going to go with Kwon over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I think the line is just too cheap at minus 115 for a guy batting 500 so far this season. Once again, all 3 games this season, he had at least 4 hits, runs, and RBIs. He just was an absolute menace for opposing pitchers, and they have Hart pitching, who might be an opener. We'll see. Maybe ends up facing Kwon twice. We'll see. But the point is, Kwon's been great so far this season. He's very good in general. We know that he is one of the best contact hitters in the entire league, and I think that 1.5 is definitely cheap for minus 115. Give me Kwon over the 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs as my favorite play, as my best bet at minus 115. Now it's time for the underdog entry. Now we are going to recycle a couple of plays that we already gave out, but we tend to throw in a third play that we did not actually talk about on the, say, player prop segment. So, Adam, I'll let you go first with the actual, I'd say, creation of the entry. Are there any props that both of us gave out that you want to use especially for the entry?
I think that we should do... I mean, I have a recommendation of what we should do. But in terms of stuff that I didn't give out, I think so there's 2 guys I like to not get a hit today.
One was Paul DeYoung, yeah.
And the other one's Chris Bryant.
Okay.
And so I think Chris Bryant's going to give it. Let me see what the multiplier
People forget that he's still in the league. That's so bad.
Right, and he stinks against lefties.
He stinks in general at this point, but yeah.
He does stink in general. Okay, so you can do bases, so it's lower. Yeah, dude, 1.6. We're doing this. His first of all, he has no hits this year. I have the metrics on him. He has he plus 135 if you want to bet it straight. I did it to win a unit because I'm greedy. No hits, an expected BA, so not just his batting average, an expected BA of 0.64, 38% strikeout rate, 0 BABIP. I don't even know how that's possible.
Once again, shout out to the Rockies front office for that.
Right. I wrote he stinks. He hit 132 versus lefties last year, 212 the year before that.
Yeah, I'm in anyway. You had me at Chris Bryant.
All right.
So
I mean, I would recommend. I think that our underdog entry should be Kwon, HRR,
yeah,
Povich, K's, and Chris Bryant to not have a hit.
Sure, that's fine with me. I mean, I feel like ever since Joey Gallo became a pitcher, we need a new guy, maybe a veteran to fade when it comes to the no-hits market.
Oh, good call. I
It
like
could
that
be
a
Chris
lot.
Bryant.
That's a good call. That's a
Chris
really
Bryant
good call.
could be our guy. I mean, you assume he's going to get injured after a month and a half, so you have to try to make the most of your opportunities. But yeah, Chris Bryant has been a disaster in Coors Field and even outside of Coors Field with the Rockies. So I'm with you on that one. So I'll go with the, once again, you wanted the lower on the Bryant half
Yeah,
a base.
so lower. Sorry, yeah, you're training me on this one. Lower Chris Bryant, it's 0.5 bases.
Okay.
Higher Cade Povich, 4.5 strikeouts, and higher Stephen Kwan, 1.5 HRR.
And do you have the price on that by any chance?
Yeah, it's 6.4.
Sure. So that's going to be our entry there for 6.4. A reminder back once again for Wednesday for the actual prop episode. Of course, we're going to be doing the regular picks episode every day at 5 p.m. But we threw in the actual prop series now 3 times a week. Hopefully you enjoy the extra content. Let us know in the comment section if you do enjoy the extra prop show a couple times a week. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Of course, I have NBA in about half an hour. But Adam, let people know where they can find you.
At Hey Rosenberg and on the MLB Gambling Pod, which everybody, by the way, because you guys haven't seen me on it until this season, follow. We're very close to 2,000 followers on that account. So it's at MLB SGPN. If you're here, you probably do follow it, but if not, follow it.
So I have good news and bad news to tell you.
What's that?
The good news and bad news, depending on how you look at it, is we broke 2,000 like a couple months ago. We're 2,200.
Oh, well, then there you go. So I don't know why Sean told me that we did that.
So there you go.
What's that?
I was going to say, so the bad news is you missed the milestone. The good news is you can still help the show grow.
You can still help us get to 2,500. Yeah. I don't know why Sean told us it was 22. Whatever. Maybe he had a cached version of it, but whatever.
Could be. I don't know. But something to keep in mind. You can find me on Twitter, Reichel Radio. You can find me on the NBA show in about half an hour with Terrell. Also, doing the tennis show. Hit the dog already. I have the lock. That's actually taking place tomorrow. If you want some clay tennis action. But until next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.